Hey guys, and welcome to the Hobby News. Alright, so this week we've got a few things to look at. We've seen the re-release of some very, very old models, namely a couple of Blood Bowl teams, which I think they're offering, in metal, which is super interesting. It's like a random thing that I didn't imagine them ever trying to re-release, but it's on a limited, I guess, run, and we're going to take a look at it. So if we have a look down on the community page, there's this little pre-order now thing, and has these two little Blood Bowl teams here, which if anyone remembers what they are, this is definitely from a generation that I remember. But yeah, super interesting they're doing this, and I think it's kind of cool, so I thought we'd have a look. So let's jump in. Alright, so yeah, Blood Bowl. So these teams, so old. Look, they've even got the old Goblin Green base, everything, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, so they're on a limited run, I think made to order. And if we come down and take a look, we've got a High Elf team and a Vampire team. And then if we take a look at what it says, there's no pre-order window for these teams, but both are available to order now until the 4th of July. So I don't know what that pre-order window means, because it seems like they are in a pre-order window in terms of when it finishes, but maybe that means something else. But anyway, it sounds like you can pre-order them until the 4th, so I guess the end of this week, more or less. And yeah, they'll send them out to you. So this is really cool. Like if you're an old school Blood Bowl player or just love old school models, these are great quirky old models that there's a lot of nostalgia here for a lot of this stuff. Some of these models are pretty funny, but they're still cool. They're like a part of history, right? And allowing you to jump in and grab a couple of these is pretty cool. I've still got my old my metal undead team and all that kind of stuff, a bunch of the old models, and I still love them. Painted them up, that they look cool. It just reminds you of those early days. And if you're not from those early days, then a team like this is great to as a bit of historical reference to see where it was to where it is now, compared to, let's say, the new models, not just within Blood Bowl, but the whole miniature range. You can see a massive difference. But there's a lot of character in these early models. If we have a look here, the High Elves, they're as quirky and sort of chunky and all that as they are, there is some fun elements here and some interesting little motifs and so on that go on these models that you don't often see as much, or are more seriously done in later models, whereas these don't take themselves too seriously, especially something like Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is one of those games that's very, very, I guess, pleasantly has kept its humor, throughout the generations, and very little changes to the rules as well. I mean, it only has a couple of editions. It doesn't have 20 editions of the game, and it's lasted through this whole time. It's one of their, I would say, one of their best games they've ever made. If you judge on just the fact that it's lasted so long, it's relatively unchanged. There are changes, but very little. The game itself still takes itself not very seriously. It's very fun. All the models that come out for it are all super interesting and quirky. Even with the modern sculptor's aesthetic, they still try to keep that. But these, you can see the original idea and the flavor that they had for these very bright colors. Everything's popping out at you. Just wonderful models, really. And then in here with the vampires, and this is a really cool team. If you don't know anything about Blood Bowl, vampires are really good. And in the old rules anyway, there were some things you could do with them. The new rules, I think it's changed slightly for them. But even still, overall, undead teams are always pretty strong. They have a great blend of tough and fast units, as well as cheap, durable units. Even though they can be slow on the one hand, they can have these speedy units on the other. Like in the undead team, you've got the ghouls, and ghouls are just an amazing unit in Blood Bowl. They can, or player, they can do so much for you. And having a team of vampires, I mean, that's just great. These guys are going to do so much work for you. It's a pleasure to play this team, because you can run the ball, you can do all the different things that you want to do. You can play all the different aspects of the game. Basically, you can play a hard hitting game and be up and in their face, or you can play the running game and compete with the other teams that are out there. And so that's one of the benefits of something like this, because, if you're going up against high elves here, they're really playing the running game and playing the ball, and it's very hard to pin them down, as it says in its little bit of flavor text. First up are the high elves. If you're after the undisputed master of the passing game, well, that's what the high elf players will tell you. Look no further than this team of graceful players. Yeah, so they're just a tough team to pin down, and having a team like this where you've got extra vampires that can move fast and so on, or in the undead team with the ghouls, and also a star player of vampire, you can do some work there. Undead's just great for that. I'm a big fan of the death side of things, so it's cool. So anyway, that's coming up. As I said, it'll be on order until 4th of July, which I believe is the Sunday. So you got a little bit more time yet to order one, but if you're into Blood Bowl or whatever, you just want to see the old models, these are great. So I don't know what the price point is on them, it doesn't really tell you, but if you go over to the Games Workshop website, I'm sure it has the price there, but I can't imagine it's like a huge amount of money, so really cool. All right, well, that's pretty much all we have. I don't think there's anything else here that is of interest in terms of these two. They only had these ones up. There is some other stuff on that is also the pre-order, but that's all this Dominion stuff, which we've already gone through. So, they're just trying to let you know that it's selling fast and that it's still, there for you if you want to grab it, which is nice that it hasn't run out. And so all those offers are there, the coins and so on, the box game, Dominion, plus the rules and so on, General's Handbook, and the Crusade or the, Path to Glory little diary there as well, plus the extras, the boards and the objective markers. So they're all there for you if you still want to order them. But yeah, for this one, we just really wanted to focus on the cool bit, which is Blood Bowl, right? So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please hit that like button, subscribe button if you have, and I guess I'll catch you on the next one.